Okay, good evening. And tonight, I think I will only be playing one game. And after the game, will wanna talk about some kind of rules clarification of the game. As if I want to explain to you how I understand the rules from the original Japanese rules written on the files. So yeah, there are something that I want to talk about. So yep, let's um, let's play a game. As usual, I will be playing solo. Yeah, I will I can record like some games with my friends. Probably this weekend. I don't know. It depends on him. If he's busy, then we cannot meet. But if he's free and we can hang out again, and I will invite him to play some more games with me. And of course, as usual, I will be recording our playthroughs. Yes, as some kind of memories with my friend over there like that. Okay, so yep. The first turn, the Japanese can move first as always. Let's move Kidowuta over here. Okay. Next turn, initiative roll. The Japanese got the initiative roll again. Let's use Kidobutai to move up over here to try and attack midway. Okay. Next turn, an event. Okay. So 1 plus 0 is 1, and event number 1 is the next turn the Japanese player will take the initiative. Okay, so damage carrier are fixed, and the time marker goes up one space. And when then we begin new turn, and according to the effect of the event, the Japanese player take the initiative. Okay, so let's attack midway. Okay, as planned. And of course, that is a victory for the Japanese fleet. So yep, 10 and 6. Okay, 10 and 6. Okay, the Japanese got midway, and the okay, after a battle, the fleet must retreat to either base since the Japanese fleet has won the battle. I think that right now Kidobutai should retreat to their home base. Of course, they can still retreat to their forward operating base truck over here, but I'm thinking of a very bad scenario when if the next turn the US won the initiative, and then maybe like multiple times they will just move their fleet over here, then they force all of the Japanese fleet in truck into a combat, and that if they won, then all of the Japanese fleet, all 6 of them will be sunk due to the special rules. Yep. So yep, I wouldn't want to stack all of my 6 Japanese carrier in trunk. Nah. In case this is a game, anything could happen. So yep. Okay. So after the battle, new turn, initiative roll. The U.S. got the initiative. Okay. So Enterprise Saratoga and Hornet over here is a very powerful U.S. fleet at Pearl Harbor. They will, I think. Okay, let's just move over here. Okay, it's fine. If the next turn the Japanese win the initiative, they can move Shokaku and Zukaku up here to force the U.S. fleet over here to a combat. But by doing that, they will left the airfield at Rabaul open. So yet, so. Hmm. But I think it's fine because they have to conduct a combat. Okay, anyway. So, yep. Next turn, initiative roll. The Japanese got the initiative. Okay, let's move Kido Butai over here to try and to defend midway. Okay. Next turn is an event, so 6 plus 1 is 7. Okay, so event number 7 is that uh, a Japanese airfield will attack an adjacent US airfield if possible. Okay, so yes, it is possible. So the Japanese airfield or above will launch an attack on let's attack Port Moresby. Okay, roll dice. Okay, so the attack failed. Okay, so 1 plus 2 is 3 and 1 plus 3 is 4. So the US forces in at Port Moresby defend successfully. So yes. Okay, so after the event, damage carrier are fixed and the time marker goes up 1 space. And now here is the interesting thing that I want to talk about. As you know, when I talked earlier about before I start the game, I want to talk about some rules clarification. Yeah, clarification. I'm sorry, my English is so bad. I'm still learning. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, this is the one thing that I want to talk about these rules. Okay, so maybe now it's a very clear example for me to talk about it right now. So I will talk about this first, and then we can continue our game. Okay, so you can say the event number 7 is that a Japanese airfield will attack an adjacent US airfield. Okay, and that's it. The rule doesn't state anything else. It doesn't write like anymore. It's just like that. A Japanese airfield attack in an adjacent US airfield if possible, and just like that. So yes, I think this event needs some clarification. Yeah, okay. So there are two ways to explain this event. So the first thing is, yes, as usual, if a if an airfield attack an adjacent airfield, both players just roll a dice and then yeah, maybe +1 to each. To both sides can +1 to their die roll, because yes, according to the carrier versus airfield, yep, the player has the airfield, they +1 into their die result. So I think that this is the same case. Okay, yes. So both players, when two airfield conduct a combat, yeah, both players roll die and both +1 into each of their die result. And yes, and I think that is the, the the right way to understand. But the next thing is very interesting. Okay, so what happened next? Okay, according to the original rules, it says nothing about how how things gonna work after the result. Yes, you know, like for example, if the Japanese win, then they recapture that airfield. Then we come into a new turn, and then both players will roll for initiative as usual. But what happens if the Japanese lost that battle? Okay, so they cannot recapture the US airfield. So according to the carrier versus an airfield rules, just like in the original rules, if the players controlling the airfield won that battle, so the next turn they will automatically take the initiative, right? That is the original rules says about this. So are these the same case? You know what I'm saying? So for example, if the Japanese airfield, they cannot, they attack and they failed, so they cannot recapture an adjacent US airfield. So when when there's the next turn, will the US players will take the initiative according to the original rules says in the carrier versus airfield. You know what I'm saying? I am wondering that if this is the same case as a carrier versus airfield rules. Yep, because yeah, we can like understand, and we can understand there is a general rules. Yeah, there's a general rules for the airfields is that if the opponents attack your airfield and yet they failed, so the next turn you will always take the initiative. That is the way how I understand the rules. But of course, the event written or on the Japanese original rules just said a Japanese airfield attack an adjacent US airfield is possible. That's it. No more words. So yeah. So I hope you understand, because my English is very bad, and I'm still learning. I am new to war games, and yep, they are really interesting. So I am currently learning war games, and I'm learning English also to try to understand the rules. Yes, so so yeah, I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So yep. So uh, the result is that yet the Japanese players cannot they failed, the attack failed, and they cannot recapture Port Moresby. Okay, so the question is, when the next turn, will the US player take the initiative automatically? So I don't know which one that I choose to play with. Yeah, which rules I will want to follow. But I think that I might be following the rules that in this case, this is just an event. Okay, so as you can see in the event, event number 3, event number 6, event number 7, and number 8, and number 9, it doesn't state that which player will take the initiative next turn. Yep. So I think that when this event occurs, so the next turn, both players have to roll for initiative just as a normal turn. So I know that the event number 8 and the event number the event number 7 and the event number 8 is an airfield versus airfield. Yep. So yep, but in the carrier versus airfield rules, the side with the airfield, the player who is controlling the airfield, they can take the initiative next turn if their opponent failed to recapture the airfield. So yep, you know what I'm saying. So yep, I think these rules, there are two ways to understand, and I think I might choose the one I was just talking about. Okay, so yeah, this is just an event. So yeah, this is just an event. So the Japanese failed the attack, and they did not recapture Port Moresby. So the next turn, both players have to roll for initiative. Okay, so I think I will play following that. Yeah, this is the rules that I will admit that this event is hard to resolve. It's hard to understand what is Mr. Nakaguro's true intention of these rules. I don't know. So yep. Okay, so I believe I moved the time marker already. So yep, the next turn, both player roll for initiative. Yep. So sorry for talking for too long, but I just want you guys to understand like how I understand the rules and how I want to resolve the rules as closely as possible to the Japanese original rules. Okay, so yeah. So next turn, initiative roll. The US got the initiative again. Okay, they will. No. Wait. Because if right now the US fleet over here attack Midway, so after the attack they have to retreat to either base. So but the Japanese Kido Butai is quite close, but they got the initiative. Let's try to play slow and think a bit. Yep. Okay, so now let's move Lexington and Yorktown over here into Eastern Solomons, and yes, both U.S. fleet will threaten all of the Japanese airfield. Yep. I don't know, but yeah, it looks much more pressure to me. Okay. Initiative roll, the US got initiative again. Okay, so now the US fleet over here will try to recapture Midway. Okay, the US Marine launched an amphibious assault with the naval support. Okay, let's see the result. Okay, oh, this is the one. I'm sorry, my finger just touched the dice and it moved. Okay, so 4, 3 plus 1 is 4, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So yes, they recapture Midway. That, and they have to retreat to either base. Now I think they will, I think they should be retreating to their home base, because yes, Kido Butai is still there and they are very close to Midway. Yeah, the Japanese can recapture Midway any time. So yeah, retreating to the home base in this situation is closer than the full operating base. Yep. So yep, this US fleet has the chance to defend Midway. Next turn, initiative roll, an event. Okay, so 4 plus 2 is 6. Okay, so the event number 6 is that the I-class, the Japanese I-class submarine, they will ambush and they sink one US carrier. So in this game, I am following all of the original rules, in which I don't use the damage and sunk carriers priority list, which is a house rule by Mr. Rod. So yep. So in this case, as the Japanese player can choose. Yeah, they can choose which U.S. carriers to be sunk. So yeah. So I think I will be let's let's think Hornet. Okay, let's think Hornet. Yeah, one US carrier here. Okay, so now the US carrier is separated, like like 2-2, not 2 and 3. Yep, the Japanese trying to reduce the US fleet strength. So yep, so the US got 2 fleet and both fleet have 2 carriers. Okay, so yeah, after an event, repair damaged carriers and the time marker goes up 1 space. Like that. Okay, so the next turn, initiative roll. Okay, Japanese got initiative, and right now remember that the US still controlling 3 airfields. So yep, they just need to play time and they need to defend. Okay, so yeah, Kido Butai will move. Let's think a little bit. Okay, Kido Butai will move over here to try attack Midway. Okay. No, they shouldn't move over here, because if they move over here the next turn, the US got the initiative. They can move their fleet over here to force Kido Butai into a combat, and therefore, yep, they can play time. Yeah, so the Japanese fleet cannot attack an airfield. Okay, next turn. The Japanese got the initiative again. Of course, Kido Butai will launch an attack on Midway. This might be the second battle of Midway. Okay, the second battle of Midway in the game. Okay, so 4 plus 1 is 5, and 4 plus 2 is 6. So yes, they won. The Japanese won. They retake Midway, and now they have to retreat. Oh my god, the same situation. Nah, I think it's fine. let's retreat back to trunk. Oh, it's okay. So now all of the Japanese carriers are now in their forward operating base as trunk. Okay, all 6 of them. Don't tell me the next initiative role will the US want. I don't know. Oh yes, the US won the initiative. Okay, so now interesting. They Lexington and Yorktown will go over here. Remember that the special rules are still in play. If the first Japanese carrier is sunk, then all of the Japanese carrier in that fleet are also sunk. Okay, the next turn, no event. The Japanese got the initiative, but yet they have to conduct a battle because there are US fleets adjacent to them. Okay, let's see. Oh my god, no way. I talked about this situation earlier and yet it happened. Don't you see? I just talked about that earlier. Holy. Okay, so 6 plus 2 is 8. And 5 plus 4 is 9. Okay, so yeah, there are 6 Japanese carriers in this fleet, but yet they can only plus 4 maximum into their die roll modified. Okay, so yes, so the US fleet roll the US roll an 8 and the Japanese roll 9. So yes, the US fleet has lost a minor victory, and but for the US carriers, because the Japanese die roll is 9, so the US will lose one ship, one carrier sunk, and then one carrier is damaged because due to the result of a minor victory. So yep. But about the the Japanese carrier, as you know, the US fleet die roll is 8, so they will sunk one Japanese carrier. But because the special effect is still in play, the first Japanese carrier sunk, the rest carrier in that fleet are also sunk. So yes, the Japanese had just lost all 6 of their carriers, which is the situation, a very unlucky situation that I talked about why I didn't retreat my Kidobutai to trunk, but instead retreat them to their home base of Japan. Yep. Oh my god. Disastrous. Okay. But the game is still in play. Oh, and yes, because all of the Japanese carriers are sunk. I want to talk about the one rules that I also want to talk about, the clarification. Okay, yeah, this game is the perfect example for what I wanted to say after the game. So yep, let's talk about it right now. Okay, so I have checked the rules on the digital version of the game. So yep, there are links, and I read about that. So in the digital version of the game, they say that there are 3 victory conditions. Okay, there are 3 ways to win the game. The first one is at any time of the game, the player captures all 5 airfields. Okay, and the second victory, a second win condition is that a player controls more airfield than the opponent when the event number 9 occurs. But yet there are a third win condition, and is that when a player sunk all of their opponent's carriers. Okay, so according to the digital version of the game, there are 3 victory conditions. There are 3 ways to win, 3 win conditions. But when I check the original rules, which was written with this map over here, the free win and play rules, they only say that it only states that there are only 2 win conditions. That is the one with the 3 airfields when the event 9 occurs, and the one capture all airfield. there are no third condition that has said that if you sink all of the all of the enemy carriers, you will win. There are no such the conditions on this version of the game. For in the original Japanese rules, print in the print and play version of the game. So yep, that's what I want to say. So you might ask me, so how do I want to play? Which set of rules will I choose? Well, according to the original rules, as written on the print and play version of the game, okay, I wanted to follow the set of rules which was written in this version of the game, which is the physical version, the print and play version. So yes, I will be playing the set of rules that only has two win condition. Yeah, the 3 airfield and the 5 airfield. So yeah, so this I won't be adding the third condition, is that to sink all of the enemy's carriers. As you can say, the reason I want to play the set of rules like that set of rules, that is because, as you can see the situation over here, the Japanese just lost all of the carriers, but they are currently controlling 3 airfields on the map. So if the next initiative roll and the event number 9 occurs, which that means the Japanese still won the game. Yes, you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, there are certain situations in the game that when you have lost all of your carriers, but you are currently controlling more airfields than your opponent. So yes, you can still hope that the event number 9 occurs, and then you can still win by time. So yep. So by playing, if you play the game adding the third condition to destroy all of the enemy carriers, so I think that just like makes the game not too balanced, because instead of trying to attack the enemy airfield, so then you might just instead you will hunt the enemy carriers. So yeah, so by adding that victory conditions into the game, so the airfield objectives in the map are no longer important, they are no longer core of the game. Okay, that's what I want to say. So that is the reason why I'm still following the original rules written on the free print and play version of the game, and I don't want to add that third condition into the game in my playthrough. Okay, so yep. So in this situation, yes, what I just said about that really unlucky situation that it just happened. Okay, so yeah, in one battle the Japanese just lost all 6 of their carriers, so now they have nothing left. But they are currently controlling 3 airfields yet, and the time token is now at the 3 plus. So yes, so if both players roll a 6 during the initiative roll, so that means the event number 9 will occur, and yet the Japanese still won because they are controlling more airfields than the US player. So yes, that is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Okay, so yep. After the battle, yes. Okay, so next turn, initiative roll. Let's see if time will stand by the Japanese side. The Japanese got the initiative, but yet they have no active carriers left on the field. On the sea, they cannot do anything. They have to skip the turn. Next turn. Oh, very close. Okay, so the US got the initiative. They will move their fleet over here to try and to capture Midway. If they succeed, then the Japanese lost for sure. The next turn, an event, but of course that is not a not not the event number 9. Okay, so 1 plus 3 is 4, and the event number 4 is that then the next turn the US player will take the initiative. Okay, so after the event, fixed damage carrier and the the time marker move up one space, and the next turn, according to the effect of the event, the US player take the initiative. Okay, so now the US fleet over here will attack midway, and if they succeed, of course the Japanese will lose the game, because yep, not quite lost the game. Yeah, because there's still event. Let's roll. Okay, so they, of course, the US fleet successfully attack air midway. Okay, so after the battle, retreat back over here. Okay, so the next turn, there are still one event that might turn the table here. That is the event number 7 and the event number 8, because as you know, event number 7 and number 8, a Japanese airfield can attack an adjacent US airfield over here. So yes, the US should retake Rubble right now. The Japanese got the initiative, and yet they can't do anything. Next turn. Again, they have to skip because they have no carriers active left on the sea. Again, they have to skip. Oh wow, but they have to skip. They are very nice die roll over there, but unfortunately the Japanese lost all their carriers. Okay, now the US got the initiative. They move over here into Eastern Solomons. Okay. Okay. Next turn. They won the initiative. US fleet will attack the Rubble. Will attack Rubble. Okay. Okay, so they won. Okay. 6 plus 2 is 8 and 3 plus 4. Yes, they retake Rubble. Okay, now these carriers, the US fleet will retreat back to either base. Okay, so now there are no there's no way for the Japanese to turn the table. Yep, but let's see if the US can win a perfect perfect victory. If the US can have a perfect victory by recapture the last Japanese airfield on Marshall Island. Okay, so yep, an event 4 plus 4 is 8. So yeah, a Japanese airfield will attack an adjacent one, but yes, that is impossible because the Japanese just lost Rubble. So yep, can't do. Next turn, initiative roll. The Japanese won initiative, and they have to skip. US got initiative. As planned, the fleet moved towards Marshall Island, preparing for the final assault to put an end of the Japanese fleet in the Pacific. Okay, an event again, so 1 plus 4 is 5. The event 5 states that the side controlling fewer number of airfield will take the initiative, which in this scenario is the Japanese, but they have no aircraft carrier, so they have to skip the turn. So yeah, the next turn, both sides roll for initiative. The Japanese won, they have to skip again. They won and they have to skip again. They won and they have to skip again. An event. Okay, so yeah, 2 plus 4 is 6. Event number 6. I believe that the event number 6 has occurred. Okay, so yeah, the event number 3 and event number 6 is the one per game. I remember that the event number 6 sync Hornet. Okay, yep. So yep, nothing happened. The next turn, the Japanese won. They have to skip an event. So 3 plus 4 is 7. As the same thing, the event number 7, Japanese player has no airfield to attack an adjacent US airfield. They have to skip the next turn. Yes, the US finally got to win initiative, so they will launch a final amphibious assault on Marshall Island. Okay, absolutely, they won a very big a major victory for the US over here. Yeah, yet they sink all of the Japanese carriers, and they also managed to capture all 5 airfield. Yet the event number 9 doesn't occur, so that is a very bad luck situation for the Japanese. And also, yes, then I was talking about, yeah, retreating Kitabutai to the home base to avoid the special event. So yeah, so yeah, but it happened. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I don't think that the Japanese will be that unlucky. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, there is no need to explain anymore, because yet as I said in the video, after this game I want to talk about those rules clarification. But yes, as I'm playing the game, there are the situations that happened, and I think that this situation is the perfect example for me to try to explain to you guys, yeah, about those rules. So yes, those two rules are I explained. Yep. So there's nothing to talk about. Yep. So yeah, a very good game, and yep, the Japanese are very unlucky. Yep. Yep. I said before. Yes, while the special rules are still in play, yet the Japanese still shouldn't like stack all of their carriers in a fleet. They should split up their force. But yep. So yep, thank you for watching, and I will be doing some more videos. Yeah, and I noticed that I didn't do a tutorial video, a proper tutorial videos about how to play the game. Yeah, according to how I understand the original rules. Yes, because I must say that, yeah, despite the fact that I said that I read the original Japanese rules and I translated, I am still not 100% sure that I play following the correct rules. Okay, so yeah. So, and by the way, I saw some set of rules on BGG, and I think they are really cool. Those rules are very clear. So yes, they are very easy to understand and easy to play the game. So yes, they are good. Yeah, I'm not saying that they're wrong. Yes, I don't think that I am playing the correct way too. You know, yeah. I'm just simply saying that I read the original rules in Japanese, and I play what I following what is it written. Yep. So yep. Okay. So yep. This video is getting too long. Okay. So now thank you for watching, and sorry for sorry for speaking too much, and sorry for my terrible English. I am still learning. As I said before, I am still a newbie wargamer, and I am still learning a lot. I am still learning English. I am still looking for another games. Yeah, so I'm still trying to find like which kind of word games that I like the most. And yes, and I think currently I am enjoying this game. Currently, yeah, they are they are fast, they are light, super fun to play. They are deep in rules. Yeah, there are so much hidden things. Yeah, they are not complex, very easy to play, but yet they have many hidden things, which is very historical accurate. So yep. Okay, so once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Okay.